we're already being recorded now. But, Dave, are we still set up to take intros for another minute, or are we just going to roll now?
Oh, absolutely no. When you're ready for me to turn off chimes and mute everything out, just say so, and I'll do it.
Got it. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we got another minute, roughly, till the top of the hour, so give everybody a little bit more time to dial in. And if any of you have anybody, anyone who's new to the challenge or seasoned in the challenge who may not know about this call, this would be a great time to shoot them a text message, a Facebook message, or just three-way them on, because we've got a great call lined up for the evening. And we had a few other people sign in the last few seconds, so if you haven't already done so, tell us your name and where you're dialing in from.
Hello, Luisa Gomez, Cambridge, Ontario.
Welcome.
Don Ellis, San Jose, California.
Welcome.
Teresa from Cambridge, Ontario.
Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Who else just joined us?
Sharonda Morgan.
Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Well, I have 9 o'clock. Let's take one last chance for introductions. If you haven't already done so, please tell us your name and where you're dialing in from.
Amber Flex, Rexburg, Idaho.
Welcome to the call. All right, Dave, if you could mute us out, I would greatly appreciate it. Well, good evening, everybody. Once again, this is Tom Jones dialing in from my home office in New Jersey. Excited to have you all with us to hear some information and some inspiration and some insights from some people who are knocking on the door of the 100-pound club, as well as a couple of us who have already become members of the 100-pound club. Just as a brief intro for anybody who may be completely new to the challenge, completely new to ViSalus, may just be dialing in at the recommendation from a friend. We do these calls as part of the ViSalus community. The TeamViHOPE calls on a weekly basis to share tips, insights, support on on how people have managed to lose 50, 100 pounds or more with the ViSalus Project 10 Challenge. And we're glad to have every single one of you here with us this evening. My story is going to be similar in some ways to the others you'll hear this evening, and also very different. I got started with the challenge back in 2010, had been dealing with the challenge of weight gain or really just overweight my entire life. And I was not somebody for whom it just completely clicked right away. I got on the challenge and did lose probably about 30 or 40 pounds pretty quickly. So that was, felt really good. But then I would go back and forth. I'd regain a little bit. I'd lose a little bit. I regained a lot at one point in time. I got off track and got back on track. And that's the key, I think, is learning from every setback and using a setback to improve yourself, and turning that mistake or setback or whatever you might call it into a more long-term, sustainable, healthy lifestyle, really. And this challenge and this platform and this community has changed me dramatically to the point that people look at my before pictures that didn't know me back then, don't even recognize me. I look like two different people. I'm way more physically active than I ever was prior to the challenge. By pretty much every way you could measure it, I'm in the best shape of my life, and I feel great about every part of it, inside and out. But I'm going to get myself out of the way here and introduce you all to someone who is not only a recent regional champion with the Body by Vi Challenge, but is getting very, very close to the 100-pound lost mark, and that is none other than Corrine McLaughlin in Canada. Corrine, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Hi, guys. How are you?
Great. So, Corrine, if you wouldn't mind just telling us all a little bit about yourself, your backstory, how you got started with the challenge, and what your experience has been, that'd be great.
Well, I'm going to touch base on what you said about setbacks. Setbacks are hugely important when it comes to your challenge, because what brought me to the challenge were all setbacks. I joined the challenge at the time when I was feeling lost, grief, betrayal, hurt. I had no self-worth, and it was a horrible time in my life, a very dark moment. And I had one of two options. I could take this dark moment and let it consume what little light of hope I had left, or I could purchase a box that somebody told me would change my life. So at that quick moment, I did the best thing that I could do. I got into survival mode, and I took what little light and hope I had left, and I invested that little hope into myself. And when I purchased that box, I was only expecting to get a quick, a shake in some nutrients, and I got. Like you said, I've lost 92 pounds almost. It wasn't easy, but every day I wake up and I say, you know what? It didn't take me overnight to get here. It's not going to take me overnight to change it. Every trial and tribulation that was set before me in my path, I looked at it as an opportunity to keep going. We are given opportunities every day, and we can either let fear consume us and not take the opportunity, or we can look at that opportunity as a way to crush it and build a temple of strength from it. And that's something that I have really based my challenge on. I've gone through quite a few things in my challenge. I went through an abuse from a spouse, a physical abuse. I went through a death of my father to pancreatic cancer. And during my for ViChamp, I had a kidney transplant. At any of those moments in my life, I could have gave up. I could have said, you know what, I can't do this. The challenge isn't worth it. I'm not worth it. But I didn't. I woke up every day and said, you know what, that challenge is going to help me get through this. This community of people, this nutrients is going to fuel my heart and my mind and my body with the vitamins and nutrients I need to cope with things like depression and grief, because those are natural things that come out of those type of events. So, and I didn't look at a number. I didn't wake up and say, oh, I want to be 140 pounds and a size 0. I just woke up every day going 10 pounds at a time. And if, losing 10 pounds in my life during that time was easy compared to dealing with what I had been dealing with. So I really used my challenge as my 30 minutes a day for myself, because I believe that if your temple, as in your body, your heart, and your mind, is healthy, then you can deal with anything that's laid before you. You have to know that loving yourself is not selfish, because if you're giving your body 150% of love, then you're giving your best to everybody else. You can't give all that you have to everybody else if you're not giving yourself anything. And so with my ups and downs on my challenge, I always looked at the challenge as a new beginning. It brought me to new people. It brought me to new places that were just dreams that I never thought I would ever get to go to. I got engaged in Kansas City on stage. ViChamp has changed my life. It really has. And I was one of those no people. I was like, no, I don't want to hear about your shake. No, I don't want to do this. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. And finally, I just jumped all in. I just said, you know what? I'm all in. I'm all in for whatever this is. And each day I just feel so blessed. And that's my story.
Wow. Well, Corrine, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And, as you were talking, one specific piece that I related to, and I just want to make sure I understood you correctly, or you may have a slightly different spin on this. I know that there was a time that I wouldn't bother to go work out, wouldn't go to the gym because I feel like I just had too much on my plate, figuratively or literally, and just felt like I couldn't add that in. Yep. But I found that it's a great way to distract me from other things that are going on in my life. And if I heard you correctly, it sounded like focusing on your challenge and on yourself within our platform helped you.
The thing that the platform helped me with is my assault. I took 7 shots to the face at the hands of a man. So I was at a point where I wanted to get a gun to feel safe. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe in my home. I didn't feel safe walking down the street. As a female of 5'1", I did not feel safe. And so I started going to the gym and lifting weights, and I started to become strong. And when my body became strong, my emotionally became strong, mentally I became strong, and then I became strong in myself and realized that this was not something that was my issue. This was something that was his issue, and I wasn't going to let this moment in time define who I was for the rest of my time here. I wanted to be a pillar of strength in my own self. I didn't want to have to rely on a dramatic way to feel safe. And so activity, walking into a gym being scared, but walking out feeling like I'm a beast behind a set of weights in a time when I felt scared of every slight movement, I found a strength in me that I didn't even know existed. And because of that, I've been able to sit on a call like this tonight and inspire people all over the place. And a year ago, I didn't have the courage to get on the phone. I didn't have the courage to even sit on my couch alone. So it's your mindset, and it's what you're willing to do with fear. Are you willing to crush it, or are you willing to let it limit who you are as a person? Because once fear gets in there, it limits you. It stops you in your tracks because people don't know how to deal with it. They put their hands up and go, no, I'm scared. I can't do this. And one of the things with ViSalus is I never, ever felt alone. And because I didn't feel alone, fear was I was able to get over it relatively quickly with the gym. Seeing other women, who were going to the gym and becoming strong, I admired those people and I wanted to be that. So I just started following them. I followed Faith and I was like, my God, this girl's pulling a truck and she's pulling a plane, and this is craziness. And the moment I saw her pulling a plane and a train and a this and a that, I was like, oh, I can lift a 30-pound weight. Oh, I can do this. I got this. This is, and because of that, I just started growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. The moment I was open to the idea of ViSalus, and that no matter what, it was going to be every day. ViSalus to me is like breathing. I get up, I have my shake, I surround my people with the Vi family every day, and every day it consumes me in a positive way, and that's what I wanted. And just the growth that I've seen in the people around me and in myself, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. People say it's so expensive, and I think to myself, what is expensive? What is that? Because to me, it's priceless. This is, I wish I would have done this 5 years ago.
Well, we're so proud of you and so happy that you chose to do it when you did, and so honored to have you as part of our community. So, Corrine, thank you again so much for being with us this evening. I'm very blessed to be a part of it. I'm so honored that you guys asked, and I'm sitting here feeling very humbled and just feeling very, very blessed, and I thank the Vice community for that. So thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. Well, you're very welcome, and perfect segue. You talked about strength. You mentioned the people, the people who were sources of inspiration for you, and we have on the line probably the strongest woman in all of Vi, quite possibly the physically strongest woman I've ever met.
She takes Devo to a whole new level.
Absolutely, and that is, I'm going to turn the call right over to none other than Faith Sims. Faith, do we have you out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Sure can. Take it
yes,
away.
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Thank you. If you guys just want to put yourselves on mute just to make sure that we get to hear this next caller and everything that he has to say, because I'm really, really excited. I met him. He actually sought me out in Kansas City. I think he's actually in a sideline to my team, so I got to spend a little bit of time getting to know him. His challenge has been incredible, and I know he told us that he is also knocking on the door of the 100-pound club, and he has just been crushing it, just working really, really hard. He's really excited. He contacted me and said, what do I have to do to get in the 100-pound club? What happens when I get there? Like, he was just really wanting all his ducks in a row. And so I want to introduce Edgar. He's lost 90 pounds. Like I said, he is knocking on the door of the 100-pound club. He started in August of 2015, so he has absolutely obviously crushed his time on the challenge. He got on the challenge and said, I'm not looking back, and he took it seriously, and day in and day out, clearly based on his results, he has just been kicking obesity right in the face. So without saying anything else, Edgar, are you on the line?
I am on the line. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect, and I want you to tell us very quickly what brought you to the challenge, what kit you're using, do you get your products for free, and give us some fat-burning tips, because clearly, buddy, you've got some great tips to share.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say that I'm greatly honored to be on this call tonight with all of you. As you said, I started the challenge in August of 2015. And pretty much what has already been said is I was tired of being the fat kid. I was tired of being depressed. I was tired of the anxiety levels that I had. A little bit about my past is my mom, going on almost 5 years, passed away. She actually passed away from pneumonia, and the flu got into her system and it overtook her whole body. The reason why her body couldn't fight it is because she had obesity problems, she had diabetes, and many other problems along with that. And that alone hit me hard. It hit me really hard, and the only thing that I turned to was Ben and Jerry. They're the only thing I wanted in my life, the ice cream. So after that, I had to take on legal guardianship with my little sister. She was 13 at the time, and I got court ordered that I took her on. And she said the words that I will say to anybody that pretty much saved my life. She told me that I love you, but I can't love you anymore, because if you keep doing what you're doing and eating the way that you are, I'm going to lose you, and I can't afford to lose another loved one. That statement hit me so hard that I said, I need to find something. I need to figure out what I need to do to hit this hard. So I met a dear friend of mine, Jody, at Starbucks. I was getting a fat, sugary drink, shocker. And I knew, she told me what she did, and I was one of those no people at first as well. I was like, no, I don't want to drink a shake. It's going to taste nasty. Finally, I just gave in and went to her house. She made me a shake. Literally, it was probably one of the best things that I've ever tasted in my life. I didn't want it to stop. It was a caramel peanut butter shake. It was amazing, and I wanted to drink another one. And I just went head running. I was like, you know what? I've devoted my whole life to food and sitting on the couch. So if I can take the energy from doing that and do this challenge, obviously I'm going to get what I wanted. And so every single day I wake up and I have the mentality that if it's not going to challenge me, it's not going to change me. I try pushing myself as hard as I can every single day. If you would have told me 3 years ago, you're going to be a runner and you're going to run 8 miles every morning, I would have been, and you're crazy and you need to go into a loony bin. But every single morning I get up and I run and I push myself as hard as I can to run. I lift weights every 6 weeks and make sure that I'm changing my workout so that my body is in confusion state. So along the lines from August, as you know, that I've lost 90 pounds, I've ran into many brick walls. And as trying to lose weight in the past, I've always thought, okay, well, if I'm trying to lose weight, I need to stop eating as much, which is true, but you can't go into this mentality of not eating. You need to make sure that you're eating the right things and fueling your body. My friend Jody, she literally called me and she goes, you need to eat food. I never thought I would be told in my life, as much as I love food, you need to eat. So that is my major tip for everybody, is just because you are trying to change your diet and you're trying to change the way of your lifestyle, you need to make sure you're still eating. But we want to make sure we're eating the healthy stuff and the right things. And this platform that we have of these Vi shakes that taste like cake, they set you up so well that you can't fail. And my other thing is that if you want it, you can have it. And ladies and gentlemen, I wanted it, and I got it, and I'm going to get the 100-pound club, and it's going to happen.
Edgar, we know that it's going to happen, and we are just so excited and waiting for the day, that we get that message from you so that we can celebrate with both you and Corrine and everyone else who's on the line who is really striving to hit that 100-pound club or the 50-pound club or the 75-pound club. The point is you've been consistent, and I loved one of the tips you gave. That's one of my favorite tips, and I say it often to my clients. Most people who struggle with weight loss or who hit a plateau or who yo-yo is you're not eating enough, and that's enough of the right foods. So we are blessed by Salus that they offer us so many different opportunities in snacks, in meals, in shakes, all sorts of things to make sure that we have a successful challenge. So I just want to say, I can't wait to welcome you into the club, and I'm really excited that you got on this call with us, Edgar. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now I'm going to bring my buddy Tom back on the line. I've actually gotten to know Tom a little bit better, even though we've both been in the 100-pound club for quite a bit of time. But just in the last several months, as we have formed TeamViHOPE and, we've celebrated at events as the 100-pound club, and, you get to spend more time together and you get to know what makes somebody else tick, and then you start following them on Facebook, and I love Facebook for the fact that it creates this feeling of community, and, it allows us to inspire each other just by posting, what we do or what we're struggling with or what we're finding successful, and Tom is just a beast. I mean, I look at his workout regime and the things that he does and the successes that he's had. And so we've had some more in-depth conversations about ways that you can get your body into fat-burning mode and keep it there for some success. So, Tom, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, so I want you to talk a little bit about, because I always tell people, changing your diet, getting on the challenge, using the products consistently is going to shrink your body, but working out is going to shape your body, and working out is actually going to help to fuel that metabolism, because, metabolism is like the mecca of weight loss. And if you've yo-yo dieted at all in your life, which probably 99% of us have, your metabolism is probably turned off, and so it can take quite a bit of things to get it going. So I want to talk more specifically about getting the metabolism going through nutrition and working out. And so what are some of your fat burning tips? I think some of the stuff you do is just epic. I know you've done some CrossFit and stuff like that, so why don't you give us a few tips?
Let's see. So I'll start with physical activity and maybe cycle back around to nutrition. How's that?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. So I think one of the biggest breakthroughs I had, there have probably been several defining moments in this overall journey that I've taken thus far, and one of them was just getting myself into the gym, just getting myself to go. And simpler than that was even just telling myself that even if I wasn't going to go in the front door, I was at least going to get my car and drive over to the gym. And almost every time I would go inside, I would have some sort of a productive workout. Building that habit was crucial. But then my next big breakthrough, because I for a while I was the kind of person that would go in, I'd work out, I'd find some sort of a program online, and or I would just sort of mess around and try to make some progress. I'd go on the treadmill for a while. I'd pick up a dumbbell and get intimidated by the people who clearly had a clear idea of what they were trying to do and had been in that area of the gym longer than I had. But my big breakthrough, I think, was realizing the incredible value at least for my body, of compound strength movements, basically heavy lifting that involved multiple parts of my body. And so when I say that, I'm talking about squatting, deadlifting, pressing, bench pressing, overhead pressing, simple things that where technique is important. So, it was very important for me to learn from somebody the proper technique, and I did find that in a CrossFit gym in a group setting with a trainer who gave me individualized attention. You could also find that just from someone knowledgeable in the gym or a personal trainer. There's a variety of ways to get that knowledge, but I found that when I was lifting challenging weights and wasn't just isolating, my biceps, which are a relatively small group of muscles, wasn't just, extending at the knee and wasn't just jogging on a treadmill, that it created a greater response in my body, and that enabled me to burn a lot of calories. That facilitated fat burn. It facilitated muscle growth, which then, muscle is metabolically expensive, and so my body would burn more calories as a result. So that's my big breakthrough, Faith. We can get more specific on that, but I'm sure you have some comments and some thoughts along those lines as well.
Well, absolutely. And first I want to point out to people, because especially women on the line, Corrine talks about lifting heavy, and people keep talking about me pulling these trucks and planes. And a lot of women, I always tell them, if your dumbbell is not heavier than your purse, then you're not really getting a benefit. But a lot of women are kind of scared I don't want to be bulky, and I don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I think we have to be clear that there's a very specific eating pattern that has to happen for you to bulk up quite that big, as well as women don't have the same hormones as men. But lifting weights, like you suggested, in the compound method that you're using, when you have more muscle mass, your body burns at a higher rate. So at rest, a body full of muscle will burn, I think, a significant more amount of calories. I don't know the exact number. I can look it up because I'm not an expert, but I like to read. So a significant more amount of calories than a body the same weight that is significantly full of fat mass. So I think that is one thing that's important to suggest to people is, number one, just to get moving. None of us started, I didn't walk in and deadlift 255 pounds right off the bat. I think I started with maybe just the bar. And so I love that you said that you just got to the gym and you just started working out and you just started moving. The internet is amazing for finding training tips. There's lots of videos on YouTube and lots of people that you can connect with, even within the VI community. Use the resources you have. Look within the VI community. See who has, the body structure, the body type that you want, and reach out to them, because everybody wants to help each other. They can give you some training tips, tell you what kinds of exercises maybe that they're doing, and just look online real quick. And I know you talked about the compound workouts, but I really like HIIT workouts, actually, and it's short for high-intensity interval training. And I find that what it does is we start with a low intensity. I hate cardio. I'm going to say that right off the bat. I cannot stand cardio. I never have. I always tell people, if I'm running, you better run too, because, something bad's about to happen. So I had to really structure in the high intensity and the low intensity, because I had very, very poor cardio. And so it was, I really liked that. And I started to figure out that, oh my gosh, I did some research, and you can burn significantly higher amount of calories and keep your metabolism running hotter for longer in the day if you add HIIT workouts. So I would do, 1 minute at a time. I started with 30 seconds, actually, because I honestly couldn't run for longer than, I can pull a truck, but I couldn't run for more than 30 seconds at a time. So 30 seconds running, 30 seconds walking, 30 seconds running, 30 seconds walking. And then I worked up to a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Now I can do sprints for 30 or 40 minutes at a time. Personally, I need variety. So I liked that HIIT had a variety of different workouts that could help me keep my metabolism burning faster. So those are some exercise tips that we wanted to give you in order to help torch the fat and get your body burning fat longer. One of the things I noticed for me with the HIIT workouts was it actually burned that, they call it a subcutaneous layer, which is the layer of fat right beneath the skin. So women, we tend to have that all over our body. And I found that HIIT workouts really tend to shrink that layer and really target those areas of fat. So that was something that I really liked. What about nutrition, Tom? I know we have lots of metabolism boosting properties in the Visalis. We have the patented shake mix that we all talk about, the protein in the shake mix. It's time released. It, doesn't sacrifice muscle to burn fat. I love that about it. We've got the Gotcha Cola in the shake, the Neon, sorry. We've got the green tea as for caffeine in the Neon. That's also a metabolism booster. And the Garcinia Cambodia. So Visalis has really done their research and found the best things to put in our products to keep us burning fat. So do you have any other tips food-wise, maybe stuff outside the Vi products that people can sort of add in to burn some more fat?
I'm a big proponent of self-experimentation, and so I found some things work better for me than others, and I think that things that work well for me probably won't be as effective with other people's bodies, and vice versa. There have been times that I've been really big on eating 5 or 6 small meals a day. The last probably year and a half, I've been a lot bigger on pushing my breakfast as late into the day as possible, so that my body is in an anabolic state for a longer period of time. there's conflicting research on that, but I found that for myself, that I have developed the ability to, have my last meal and, whenever in the evening, and then wake up and go until noon or 2 o'clock without eating anything. And because I've been giving myself good nutrition with the Vi products and with just a well-balanced, high nutrient diet overall, that I don't wake up in the morning starving. I don't wake up super hungry, and I eat plenty, but I give myself the breaks to do that. Other people, of course, find that it's very helpful for themselves to eat something as soon as they're done in the gym, and 2.5 hours after that. I've also found it to be helpful to to consume coconut oil on a regular basis. I add chili pepper to my eggs. I add garlic salt to my eggs on a regular basis because there's some research that indicates that boosts your metabolism a little bit. So any little thing like that I can do is I try to do. But I've become a fan of a smaller number of larger meals because that works for me. And so I guess my overall point is be willing to try things and stick with them and keep what works and change up what doesn't.
Those are some great tips. And I really, obviously, you've seen some success as well. So one of the greatest tips that you just said that I like is not everybody is the same. So I'm not a big proponent in giving the same person or everybody the same meal plan because everybody's body works differently. You do have to do a little bit of trial and error when it comes to, whether you're going to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day or, whatever you're going to do. But I think the biggest thing is to be consistent. Your products were designed, and we offer a money-back guarantee for you to get results. And so the number one thing, is stay on your challenge, stay consistent, use the products as they were designed. We have a lot of other, I feel like this portion of the call could be an entire hour in itself, and I want to respect everybody's time because we're already at 9:30. So I just sort of want to circle it back really quickly. And to, drinking more water is a huge thing. Eating more often for most people is another huge thing. But be willing to experiment a little bit and reach out to some people who you've seen have success and how are you eating? What are you doing? And, I'm a big proponent of changing it up. I remember I talked to one of the Vi champs and they said, well, you want to, win weight loss champion or whatever. And he told me, switch your shake from breakfast and lunch to breakfast and dinner. Have your meal in the middle of the day. And so that was a huge thing for me, just to change it up, do something different. A lot of times we become creatures of habit and we get in a rut and our body gets used to it. And so, we can sort of slow that metabolism down. I guess for me, I really loved looking at the metabolism like a steam engine. And when you have a steam engine, they're constantly shoveling coal into that fire in the engine room. And if they don't do that, what happens is that steam engine is going to slow down and stop. And I feel like for a lot of people, your metabolism can be the same way. So you've got to consistently feed it the right foods. If you want some more tips, I don't want to go over too far in time. You can reach out to us on TeamViHOPE. Tom and I can create maybe a shareable that we can post with some other tips. Because I don't know about you, but I still have pages and pages that we didn't even get to today.
Yep.
That'll have to be a call for another time. But I want to thank everyone for getting on the line, and I want to say that you are important to us. We can't wait to celebrate your story and your results. And I was honored and blessed to ask to be the Hope Call director for the next little while, just to help out and to keep these calls informative and what you want to hear. So please reach out to us and let us know if there's a topic we haven't covered. If you would like to be a guest and you have a story that you want to share, you're reaching 50-pound mark or you have a big goal and you want to share that to inspire somebody, please reach out to us because we are an open community and we want to have everyone share their story to inspire others. It's one of Isal's tenements is be inspired and be inspiring and challenge yourself and challenge others. So we want to encourage you to do that. Get with the person that brought you on this line. If you're looking for a better product in terms of, maybe you're not taking exactly the right kit you should be, make sure you talk to that person. Reach out to us. We will also help you and make sure that we get you with the person who introduced you to the challenge. Also, be sure to go on YouTube because all of the calls are posted on YouTube after the fact so that I was looking today. We've got an entire year worth of calls. So if you've missed them, don't fret. You can go on YouTube, search for TeamViHOPE, and get the recordings of those calls and listen to them. Share them with your friends. Share them with your customers. Share them with your team because Together we are stronger, we are better. The ViSalus community is second to none, and we leave no man behind. So with that, I want to say thank you for logging in. We love you, we care about you, and we look forward to celebrating your success. With that, this call is a wrap. Have a great night.